My wife texted me at 10:40 on a Tuesday. I want a divorce, 50-50 on everything. No lawyers, no drama. I wrote back one word. Now she calls me 9 times a day saying I trapped her. 7 years together, 4 married. I'm a heavy equipment mechanic. I clear about $96,000 with overtime, and I've been at the same shop since I was 23. Sloan does interior styling, which brings in maybe 20 in a good year, and nothing in a bad one. 3 years ago, I put up the money for her to open a home goods shop downtown. $51,000 out of my savings, a small business loan I personally guaranteed, and a lease the landlord would only write against my credit. I was under a loader when it came in. I read it twice, wiped my hands, and typed, okay. That was not the reaction she'd planned for. She wanted me to call. She had a speech ready, I'm sure of it. When I got home, she was at the island with her laptop open and a careful, gentle face on. She said she was glad I was being an adult about it. Then she walked me through her numbers. Half the house equity, half the retirement and support for 3 years, because she'd sacrificed her earning potential for the marriage. I didn't argue with any of it. I said it sounded fair. Then I told her I had one problem with the timing. I was 6 weeks out from my master's certification test, the one I'd been studying for since January, and it came with a $9 raise. If we filed right then, I'd split my head in 2 directions and fail it, and a bigger number on my check made every one of her numbers bigger too. She thought about that for about 4 seconds. I asked for 4 months. She gave me 4 months. Here's what she didn't know I already knew. 6 weeks before that text, our credit union had mailed a paper statement to the house instead of going digital because of some system change. I opened it because it had my name on it. There was a transfer out of our joint savings for $2,000 to an account I'd never seen. I didn't say anything. I just started keeping the mail. So while she was picking out paint colors for the apartment she'd already put a deposit on, I spent 4 months doing something very boring. I pulled every statement on every joint account going back 3 years. Took me 11 nights at the kitchen table after shift. The transfers started 19 months before her text. Small at first, then $2,000 a month every month, always 3 days after my direct deposit hit. $41,000 total into an account at a different bank. Then I did the shop. Her business had reported a loss every year since it opened, which is why she'd never paid herself and we'd never seen $1 back. But the card processor statements told a different story than the tax returns. There was real money moving through that register. It just wasn't landing anywhere I could see. I took all of it to a lawyer, and she brought in a forensic accountant, and I paid him out of my own savings and didn't tell anybody. He found it in about 3 weeks. The other account was a joint account. Her name and a man named Beckett Doyle, who I later learned had been her supplier rep since the shop opened. 4 days after my certification test came back passed, I filed. Not the agreement she wrote. A petition citing dissipation of marital assets, with the accountant's report attached as an exhibit. She got served at the shop on a Thursday afternoon. She was at the house that night, and she went through every stage of it. First it was a mistake, then it was a business account, and I didn't understand small business finance. Then it was my fault for never being interested in her work. Then she cried and said she'd been lonely. I told her I wasn't the one who needed convincing. At mediation, her attorney asked for a recess 11 minutes in, and they were gone almost an hour. Here's how it came out. The $41,000 was ruled marital money she'd moved for a non-marital purpose, so it came off her side of the split first. The shop got valued on its actual receipts instead of its returns, and since the loan and the lease were both mine, I was already the one holding the risk on it. The support request went away entirely once the income from that register got put in front of the judge. She got about $9,000 in her personal property. I kept the house, my retirement, and the shop, which I sold in November to a woman who'd worked there part-time and always wanted it. Sloan still calls. She says I set a trap and waited 4 months to spring it. I keep telling her the same thing and she keeps not hearing it. She's the one who wanted to split everything down the middle. I just made sure the accountants found all of it first.